Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Grantfly and we'll be running through another pre-modern league. This time with a deck I'm calling Nightmare Clericbardment. This is a variation on the mono black clerics deck that sees a decent amount of play in pre-modern, but it's a slightly different take. So let me go over the cards that are in it. Start off with kind of the baseline that is in the usual clerics deck. So you've got Dark Supplicant. 1/1 you can sacrifice 3 clerics, including itself, to search your hand, graveyard, or library for Scion of Darkness, which is this 6/6 trample creature that gets creatures from your opponent's graveyard if they are hit by it. So that's one of the clerics. At the 2-drop slot, you got Withered Wretch, very good anti-graveyard 2/2, and has additional synergy from being a cleric in this deck. Shepherd of Rot, which is a zombie cleric, makes each player taps to make each player lose 1 life for each zombie on the battlefield. And then the really good clerics are at the 3-drop slot. You have Priest of Gix, which when it enters you get 3 black mana, so it can sort of be free essentially. And Rotlung Reanimator, which creates a zombie whenever it or another cleric dies. And I'm realizing just now reading this that it also counts your opponent's clerics, which is kind of interesting. But anyway, so these are just kind of like good value creatures. If you happen to have a Rotlung Reanimator in play, when you sacrifice everything to Dark Supplicant, you get 3 zombies out of it. So that's good, and those are sort of like normal cards you would play. Oh, and 1 Cabal Archon, which lets you sacrifice a cleric to drain a player for 2 life. So these are all cards you would see in the kind of standard clerics aggro deck. And to just round out cards you would normally see, you got the usual black disruption discard package of 4 Cabal Therapy and 3 Duress. Where it gets a little different with this build is the presence of a few powerful enchantments. In the pre-modern format, Goblin Bombardment, which lets you sacrifice a creature to have it deal 1 damage to any target. So that's pretty good with Rotlung Reanimator because you can sack any cleric, you get an extra zombie. So you just have more free, quote-unquote, free creatures to sacrifice to Goblin Bombardment for value. So that's just kind of like a good extra value play. And I'm also playing 3 Recurring Nightmare. Sacrifice a creature, return this to its owner's hand, return a creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. So this is another card that's just kind of good for value if you're getting extra creatures. Like if a cleric dies, you get a zombie, you can sack that zombie, bring back the cleric, and it's sort of like a way to undo the creature dying. The normal cleric decks play Unearth as a way to get back creatures from their graveyard as like a one-time use. This is obviously costs more mana, but does have the advantage of being repeatable, but also requires you to sack a creature. And then a couple of Phyrexian Ragers to sort of help churn through the deck, help get some more value out of Recurring Nightmare and Goblin Bombardment. But the one other interesting wrinkle for this deck is it actually has the ability to go infinite with these 2 cards. There's actually a couple of different pathways. So the first is if you just have 2 Priest of Gix, either with at least 1 in the graveyard, I guess, or you get 1 in the graveyard somehow, you can cycle those back and forth with Recurring Nightmare because every time 1 comes into play, you get 3 mana. Recurring Nightmare costs 3 mana. So it's essentially free, and you can keep cycling Priest of Gixes. Now that doesn't do anything necessarily by itself, but if you have a Rotlung Reanimator in play also, you will get a zombie every time a priest dies. So you'll get infinite zombies. From there, if you also have a Goblin Bombardment in play, you can sacrifice those zombies and kill your opponent right then and there. Or if you have Shepherd of Rot and you have more life than them, you can try tapping Shepherd of Rot, assuming you don't think they can do you any damage in response, and kill them that way. So there's a lot of kind of like cool synergies like that in this deck, and hopefully we'll be able to see some of them in effect in the league. One thing I am not doing in order to make room for all of this sort of pseudo combo package is I'm not playing Dark Ritual, mainly because since I've added a color, you kind of need more lands of that colored mana source. So because you have to play more lands, I don't really want to play Dark Ritual on top of lands because I think that would lead to flooding out. So I had to kind of cut those to make room. Although I still think maybe playing 1 or 2 could be all right, but I'm not doing that currently. So I'm not playing Dark Ritual, and I'm not playing any actual removal spells like Smother or anything like that because there's just no room. Because if you're playing Goblin Bombardment and Recurring Nightmare, you need a decent number of creatures in your deck to make those cards any good. So it's kind of either you shave on removal, you shave on creatures, which then makes these cards worse, or you shave on bombardments and Recurring Nightmare, which I am already only playing 3 Recurring Nightmare because it is not really a card that's great until a decent amount into the game, because you need to have drawn some creatures for it to really do anything by the time you play it. So anyway, rounding out the mana base, we got Bloodstained Mire, 1 Mountain, 4 Sulfurous Springs, and 3 Tainted Peak. I think the mana is actually, because it's an allied color, the mana is actually pretty decent, but you will notice I'm only playing these 4 red cards because even with mana that's, I think, pretty good, you still don't want to push it too much in terms of splashing color cards in Premodern. So moving on to the sideboard real quick, we just see kind of the some of the old standbys. 3 Engineered Plague. I'm only running 3 instead of 4 because you do have 4 Goblin Bombardment, which can kind of do a similar thing. And since we are also a tribal deck, that's sort of one tribe where its utility is a bit diminished because you can't name Cleric or Zombie. So only 3 Plague, 2 Gloom for the Replenish matchup, 2 Dystopia for basically for the Oath matchup. Even though in theory you could avoid having a creature in play with Goblin Bombardment, it's not ideal. So you'd rather just kill an Oath if you can. 1 Perish because since we don't have any spot removal, large green creatures I think could be a problem. So that's why I'm playing the Perish. A Tsabo's Web for land destruction and mono blue tide and things that have a lot of colorless utility lands. 2 Pyroblast against blue decks. 1 Overload. Again, I'm not playing a ton more of these because I just am worried about the access to red mana. 1 Tormod's Crypt as an extra anti-graveyard card, and a Flametongue Kavu for kind of like mid-range creature battles. If you get into the mid-game and you get Recurring Nightmare and Flametongue going against, like, say, a Madness deck with Arrogant Worm, I feel like that should be pretty good. So we'll see if that pans out. So that's the deck, and we'll run it through a league and see how it goes. All right, we're in round 1. Yeah, this is not the best hand, but it's certainly got a lot of disruption depending on what our opponent's playing. Okay. I could be greedy here and try and get the Mox Diamond, but I don't think I'm going to. I'm just going to take Oath because I cannot afford to let that resolve. And I don't think I care that much about Mox Diamond. Okay. Let's Duress again. Okay, I guess we'll take swords and play this. Next turn, hope to hit Cataclysm. Or hope to hit a land so we can go Priest, Supplicant, Therapy, get Scion, and hopefully that'll be enough. We did. Guess that's the plan. It's a little awkward because Scion doesn't actually race Treetop plus Elephant. Well, I guess it does, barely. Anyway, this is what we're doing. All right, so the question is, do we want to do this now and just get the Scion, or do we want to wait and see if we draw like a Rotlung? Basically, the only card that would be good is Rotlung Reanimator. Everything else isn't really that helpful. So I think we might as well just do it. All right. Not the worst. So we are now ahead in the race. Need them to not draw like swords or something. Oh, they're just going to double block. Okay. Kind of forgot that was an option. Yeah, that's not great for me, but if I draw a Recurring Nightmare, I can get it back at least. Sure. Wow. Too lucky. All right, so I guess they can do the same thing again. So am I supposed to just wait and hold off their stuff? Maybe. Problem is when they draw Oath, well, I guess we're even in creatures, so they wouldn't be able to Oath. Huh. Yeah, I guess, all right, I'll try holding back here. lot of lands. What the hell? Wow, they're playing a Teamer card? Alright, well, that's really good. What do we got? Okay, so I choose a creature, land, and non-creature, non-land. Okay, so I guess I'll just give them a forest. And the creature, I suppose, has to be Terravor, which is a bit of a problem. How many, let's see, how big is Terravor? 3/3? Possibly 4/4? If I give them a Mox Diamond, which I think I probably should. I suppose I could give them Oath. It doesn't actually... Anyway, I need to give them a Terravor. I need to give them a... I guess I'll give them a Plains. And a Mox Diamond. Sure. Like, if I can kill the Terravor, well, I guess, yeah, if I can kill the Terravor and get it back, then that would be pretty good. I don't really have a way to do that. But I can draw Withered Wretch to shrink it. So it's not the end of the world. Hey, there he is. So I could attack, but then they're attacking back for a lot more. So yeah, I don't think I should do that. Yeah, I'm probably supposed to, I think I'm just supposed to try and drag the game out, although they have so many good cards they could draw. Swords, Oath, Sylvan Library, another one of these things. So it's a bit of an issue. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think I just have to pass here and hope they don't find anything too good off this library. I can't really get in yet. In fact, I should probably just kill this Terravor right now. Actually, I can't kill it right now because they would wasteland. Then they'd have to wasteland their own thing. All right, actually, yeah, I won't do that yet. Or if they used up their gemstone mine, that wouldn't be too bad for me. So, yeah, I take it back. I am going to kill the Terravor. I take it back. Or at least try to. I guess they could wasteland or gemstone if they really want to. So do I want to trade now? Maybe, because now I have this Dark Supplicant. Yeah, I think I got to start making some headway here. Oof. Sure. So now I could hit them, get their Terravore. If they Oath, I'll have a huge Terravore of my own. So that should be good. Yeah, all right, let's try that. And play one of these, I guess. Getting close to getting bombarded out. All right. Yeah, that's pretty good. So I could try and trigger Oath, and if I mill, it's a bit risky, but if I mill another Priest of Gix, then I actually go off, assuming they don't have anything. But it is risky. So let's see, if I just attack, they can Terravore, block. I think I'm supposed to just get in with some creatures here. So they kind of have to block at least one of these Terravores and this thing. Although they could use Treetop. Huh. Okay. You know, let's try this. I guess I can get my Scion back in any case, so it's not like the worst thing ever. All right, we hit a Priest. Cool. Don't get that mana, but we do get another priest during our main phase. So let's try this. Alright, worked. That was cool. What do we want here? Dystopia for sure. Perish in... yeah, I want Perish. Tsabo's Web. They had Port and Treetop. Yeah, I want Tsabo's Web. Maybe Crypt. What am I cutting? Archon can go. Probably just have to cut Rager to make room for this other stuff. I could trim on Nightmare because they might be bringing in Graveyard Hate. I could trim on a Goblin Bombardment. I think Duress is also good. Maybe I cut Therapy for Duress. I guess if I'm, yeah, this is probably okay. Do I want a Crypt? And Kavu is actually kind of good against these Call of the Herd tokens too. But I guess maybe they don't have enough creatures to really justify it. Crypt I could see. I don't know. Actually, nah, I don't really think it's that important. Well, I guess it's good to have access to it. Getting really low on creatures with this strategy, though. Maybe I have one too many cards to bring in. Maybe I could trim a land on the draw. No, that's... I'll trim Rager, I guess. Well, Shepherd of Rot seems maybe even worse. Yeah, let's trim Shepherd of Rot. Okay. One land. Has some good cards in it. Ultimately, I mean, it has... Probably need to just mulligan. Okay, this is fine. Actually not great, but I think I just put back the I think I'll just put back the Sulfurous Springs. Hope I don't get oathed. Could go poorly. Don't really have the option to play any other way. Library, okay. So, I mean, it's pretty clear they don't have Oath, or they would have just slammed it. But they obviously could draw it, but I can't do anything about that. So, I actually think I'm just going to play Wretch here. For mana efficiency's sake. Swords. Yeah. Forgot about swords. I probably should have just played Duress plus Supplicant. Okay. Cutting myself off of red here, which is awkward, but you do what you gotta do. Yep. So do I try to go get Scion? I guess I do. Sure. Could trade for 2 elephants. Not the greatest, but so this could be a situation where maybe I'm supposed to wait. I don't really think so, though. Although, if I play the Shepherd, I could use that instead. All right. We'll wait. Okay. Heavily rewarded. This is, I guess, the other sort of combo in the deck is Dark Supplicant plus Rotlung Reanimator. Not like a infinite combo, but you do get a lot of zombies from it. Okay, it is time. So what's that? Okay. All right, so we could get in for 6 here. Probably not quite worth it. Let's just play out these. Maybe it is worth it. We could lose this. We block 2, then they only have 2. No, I don't think it is. They kind of need a Cataclysm here. Or another swords, I guess. let's see, I could put this trigger on, or sorry, tap this, then sack Supplicant, and I would get 3 zombies, but only 1 net new zombie. So yeah, I guess that isn't doing much. Currently dealing 5. Yeah, if they do Cataclysm, I think I should keep the Shepherd, and I'll get 2 zombies. So I'll have 3. And I can activate Shepherd for 3 over and over. So maybe the play last turn was to attack just with, not with the Rotlung, but with everything else. They'd be at 8. I'd be down 2 zombies. Is activating for 3. I don't know. Tagging with an elephant. Interesting. Is this like a swords or something, or a cataclysm? Certainly feels that way. I think I can safely block with a bunch of these. Yep. Okay. Definitely makes me wish I'd attacked the turn before. You know what? I'm just going to do this now because I'm definitely going to do that no matter what. It's awkward. Playing another Sylvan. I don't really understand that. I got 7. I got 4. Yeah, okay, I can't attack yet. I don't know why I'm doing this upkeep. I could just do it on my turn, but it doesn't really matter. Them to 1. I mean, I don't really think there's any reason to do that. I guess Goblin Bombardment. Like, they're going to get a Terravore. I can't attack. So, yeah, I guess maybe it makes sense to put them to 1. I guess they get swords to go back up. This also keeps them from oathing again, so yeah, I think I'll do it. Not sure if this is right. Like, I suppose if they deal with the Shepherd of Rot, I'm pretty much dead, so doesn't really matter a ton. But this does take away fetch land as a out for white mana. All right, the Shepherd got there. Be back for round 2. I'm going to keep this, even though it's not the greatest hand, yet again. Has some disruption. It has my colors. Acolyte Findhorn Elves. All right. That's a whiff. But they don't have survival, so that's also good. Great. All right, so my therapy is now back to knowing nothing. All right, so if they had Symbiote, they would have played it, I'm pretty sure. What else could they have? They could have drawn Survival. They could have drawn like Priest of Titania. Could have drawn another Acolyte. I mean, I guess I'll just name Survival because it's still what I'm most afraid of. Ranger, sure. I guess they wouldn't have played Ranger. Because, yeah, I guess they want to keep a creature in their hand if they draw Survival. That makes sense. Alright, so maybe they drew another creature that's even worse. I don't know. Guess I'll just play Archon to stop the bleeding. So far the deck is kind of feeling like I need to draw Rotlung Reanimator or it's very bad. Wow, this is aggressive. They have like Collar of the Claw or something? I don't know, but I can't just sit here and take a bunch of damage, so. Yavimaya Hollow. Okay. Fair enough. Well, this is good for me. They haven't drawn anything particularly great so far. Not going to play the fetch because the life might actually matter this game. Alright, so now I can go get whatchamacallit, although it's actually not that good because I'm losing the race. Morph. This could be that thing that pumps every creature type, or a creature type of your choice. Should be very bad for me. I think it gives him trample as well. Or it could be vigilante. This makes me, I forget what the unmorph cost is on that other thing. Actually, I'm going to look it up. Okay, we're just going to try doing this and see what happens. Alright, it is Tribal Force Mage. Yeah, it's very bad. Okay. That might do it. All have trample, so that's 10 damage. I'm at 2. They don't really need to regenerate. I guess I could drain life. Getting a Scion doesn't really do anything for me here. So, I'll do that. mean, the Archon's doing some work here, but it's feeling like a losing battle, ultimately. This just buys me one more turn. Same thing. I am dealing them 2 every time we do this, but so like in theory there's some world in which I could kill them. If they ever draw another creature, I think it's over. Let's see, if I attack for 2, puts him to 7. I sack Archon. I sack this. I mean, that doesn't really matter. All right, so I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Deal them 6. Yeah, not quite enough. All right. Getting closer, though. Like, the recurring nightmare doesn't actually help me. Sure. Probably shouldn't have played that out of my hand, now that I'm thinking about it, but oh well. That was a while ago, so it's hard to anticipate I would be stuck at 1. At least I didn't use it. damn. I probably, I guess I should have had that in my hand. I don't know. Well, wasn't going to matter. All right. That was excruciating. All right, so we went Engineered Plague. I want Parish Dystopias. Flametongue Kavu, why not? There's kind of a weird build. Take out Duress. I think I'll take out a Therapy as well. Curve is extremely high now. Guess we probably got to take out Phyrexian Rager. And one more card. Maybe Recurring Nightmare. And yeah. Guess we can just try this. All right. Got a really slow hand, but we can go here on the play, so I'm going to keep it. Really needed a not land there. Okay. So what are they going to do? They can pick up Color of the Claw, float mana, play it again. Not great. I guess I can. Sacrificing that. All right. Okay, they have another. That makes sense. I think I have to keep this around just to like try to stem the bleeding here, but obviously I'm going to need something else. Another land. Yeah, that's pretty much what I was expecting at this point. Okay, can't really attack. I actually have a kill here if I can draw either another priest. No, I need to get the priest in the graveyard somehow. But if I draw bombardment and they don't have a naturalize or anything, then I can actually still win just with that. I guess, yeah, I should have sacked this Bloodstained Mire to thin earlier, maybe. Probably would not have mattered. Call of the Herd, sure. Okay. Well, this is good, actually, because now I can get the priest in my graveyard. So I actually want to block. Can I afford to block with both? Actually, I can. If I block with both, I draw Bombardment, play Recurring Nightmare, get back Priest, play Recurring Nightmare, sack the other token, get back Rotlung, play Bombardment. No, I won't have enough mana. So if I draw Bombardment, that's bad. Okay, so yeah, I guess I just need to block with this. Is there any point to continuing to pay for this thing? Not really. I think we're approaching the end of the line here. Let's see, if I draw Perish now, does it do anything? They can untap, make 2 mana. No, I don't think so. Okay. Nope, that ain't it. Actually, that doesn't matter. Yep. That makes a lot more sense about what they would have left in their hand. All right, so can I survive another turn is the question. I mean, I guess... sort of get another blocker this way. Like I get a free block, I should say. I'm not going to expose the Nightmare. Priest, yep. Deranged Hermit. Block here, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. Do I live at 1 life? Seems like it. Can I afford to keep my Reanimator around? 3 plus 8 is 11. I guess I can, so yeah, why not? Hopefully I draw a Goblin Bombardment so I don't have to make a bunch of zombies and pass the turn. Or just a swamp, that'd be easier. Alright. No luck there. We'll turn for the next, for round 3. Oh my god. I am really not able to draw a good mix of lands and spells with this deck, apparently. Yeah, I mean, I got a mulligan in the sand. Okay, this is better. This Tainted Peak is insanely awkward. I'll keep. I guess I'll put back one Reanimator. Done. Am I leading on Mountain? If I lead on Mountain, I can't play Withered Wretch, but I already have a play, so yeah, that's fine. Duress. That's pretty good. I don't know what's going on over there. It's probably something pretty cool. Just drawing a bunch of lands. Green. All right, I'm playing some kind of, combo deck here. Yeah, so if I had my Goblin Bombardment, I could have interrupted this, but I can no longer do that. Withered Wretch. Okay. Probably is not enough to disrupt them, but maybe it is. I mean, I think they got to kill it if they're trying to reanimate a ghoul or something. All right, let's see what they got. I don't think I've played against this deck before. I've seen lists. So I don't know. Do they have presumably they have some kind of way to kill a creature in the main deck, but it's like Hermit Druid, Ghoul. I guess we are about to find out. Reanimate. Maybe this build has Terravor or something. That would be a beating. Yep, there's a Terravore. Okay, so they're trying to like manually attack with a Terravore. Interesting. What does this cost? 2? Okay. Guess I'll just start exiling lands. I don't know what else I can really do. Yeah, I mean, they can just grow it whenever, so I suppose I should hang back. All right, so how many lands do they even have? There's 2 gone, there's 3 in play, so that's 5. The deck plays like 24, it's 19. I can exile 5 more, it's like 14. They played another one, 13. But I also have to guard against a Shallow Grave on another Terravore. I don't think I should tap down too low because I got to guard against a reanimation spell. So maybe this is the last one I should do. So we got 4, 5 lands exiled, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Maybe I should exile 1 more. And then I guess 13. So if there's like 10 left, that'd be a 13-13 attacking me. It's kind of a lot. Should I throw this priest in front of it? Sure, I'll do that. Even though it has trample. Soak up 1 damage. And then it kind of forces them to, like, I don't know, do something. Like I can target another land at the end of the turn, and then they have to mill again, and it just makes it a little bit less flexible for them, maybe. All right, I couldn't get past the Wretch. So Tormod's Crypt, yes. I guess Plague is also useful against Illusionist. Pyroblast, pretty situational. Maybe I cut a Nightmare, because it's not really about that. Scion is kind of funny here. 4th Duress is probably good. I cut a Rager, I guess. Maybe Archon. That's probably fine. Yuck, another one-lander. It does have Wretch, though. I think I'm supposed to keep because it has a bunch of disruption and Withered Wretch. Gonna need to draw some lands here, but... Mountain. I deserve that. Swords, swords, nomads. Okay. Could have played Rot and Supplicant there, but I think I'm supposed to get my anti-graveyard card in play as soon as possible. Oh, jeez. Oh my gosh. All right, well. Need lands. Need lands really bad. I can't tap out, so the question is whether to leave up 1 mana or 2 mana. Probably better to leave up 2 mana, I guess. You gotta be kidding me. Oh my god. All right. Let me think here. So they mill their whole deck. They can play whatchamacallit, that card that shuffles stuff back in. Draw it, so I need to have I think I just need to pass the turn, actually. Yeah, I think I just need to wait and draw more lands. I can't even afford to cycle this Scion, I don't think. Hermit Druid. Yeah, that doesn't really change anything, I don't think. Can I cycle? So they'll just like reshuffle a Terravor and play it. And I won't be able to. Yeah, I don't think I can cycle. Engineered Plague, but it's too late now. Alright. Guess I just draw go until I draw some lands. That's the plan. Okay. I think 2 mana is enough. Guess we'll find out. Mm-hmm. In retrospect, maybe playing that plague wasn't great. Doesn't really seem like it did anything. Worldly Tutor. Key to Slinger. Nice, nice. All right, so if I attack with this, are they going to try to block it down completely? If they do, I don't have another creature to play, which is pretty funny. Or will they just... Actually, they kind of have to, because otherwise I get back like a G2 Slinger, so I think I actually can't attack with it. So, yeah, I just got to play Recurring Nightmare. Yep, now they can attack. So I need to draw some other creatures pretty soon. No doubt about that. don't know if it's safer to play out this Recurring Nightmare or leave it in hand. I'm going to leave it in hand, I guess. Actually, I can play one of them now. Wait. Oops. Okay. That was a mistake. This deck really feels like it's very prone to flooding out, and I don't really know why. Only playing 23 lands. I guess that's a lot. I don't know. It doesn't seem like that many. I have a lot of discard spells. And, you know, I don't have Mishra's Factory, which is different from the other mono black deck I was playing. But man, it is really bad to not be able to draw any cards. Or to have enough relevant cards to play. The last possible second. I guess, yeah, maybe I should have gotten back my Rotlung from this zombie token in retrospect. They have a way to deal me one. Apparently so. Or maybe not, because I feel like they would have done it by now if they could have done it. Can't let that happen. All right, that was a close one. Be back for round 4. I'm gonna have to mulligan this one. Okay, this has a plan. I'll keep. Do I put back Bombardment or Priest? I think Bombardment, just because I don't have any red mana right now. Rewarded with a Duress that is not going to hit anything. Looks like probably Psychatog on the other side, perhaps. Oh, and we drew a Duress. What can they play on turn 2? There's an argument to wait just so you have a little bit more of a choice if this resolves, but I'm not really doing anything that urgent right now with these creatures, so I'm going to play it, see what I'm dealing with over there. Okay. Yeah, I think I want to take this Gush. Since I have 2 Supplicants, in theory, I don't need to take the counterspell. Make that 3. There's the Tog. Wow. 2 lucky. All right, so how big can this Tog get? 2. Plus 3, 5, 6. Could be a 6/7 and eat my Scion. So in that case, maybe I just don't get it. On the other hand, it would force him to lose all his cards, but then I would be left with nothing, sort of. Yeah, I think I'm supposed to wait. I could slowly chip away with this Shepherd of Rot. Very slowly, but, you know. Okay. That could change things a bit. I'm going to play around 4 spec here. Okay, well, never mind. This doesn't really feel like it's favoring me. It's actually, it's very impressive how not very good the Scion of Darkness is. It's just like a vanilla 6/6 that, you know, doesn't even do that much. All right, well. It's not great, not a great sign. Really need to draw something that wasn't lands there. Smother, yeah. Is it time to go get the Scion here? I think it might be. A little late for this one. So we'll just try and make them use up some cards in their graveyard, I guess. What are we going to do here? All right, I got to think about this. Yeah, let's, if we play Wretch, start exiling cards. Just trying to get something going here. I don't really know. Make them use their keg or something. They have 4 cards in their hand. It's not looking good. None of them are lands, so Boil. Well, it's a lot of cards, but I don't think it's going to matter. Want some Pyroblast? I think the Flametongue is good too. I don't think Overload, that's a little too specific. Duress is probably good. What are we cutting here? Probably going to cut down on the combo stuff like Bombardment and Recurring Nightmare. Play a little bit more of a fair game since they have so much disruption and counterspells and stuff. Maybe one more Bombardment. Maybe lose a Therapy. I don't think we need the Crypt. We do have the 4 Withered Wretch. Yeah, let's try that. I guess they had Furnace and Keg, so maybe Overload is worth it. Maybe I'll bring that in. Jesus. These hands, they're so bad. I mean, this is a very good card against them, and I can sneak it in under counter magic. I'm going to keep it. Certainly feels like I have one too many lands in this deck so far. Wow. Okay. All right, I guess I deserve this for keeping a 5-lander. I get one. I drew too many lands. All right, sorry about that. We'll be back for the next one. Okay, back for round 5. Now we have a 1-lander. It's not, as far as 1-landers go, it's not horrible, but I'm gonna mulligan. Another 1-lander. This one's much worse, so I'm gonna mulligan again. And okay, this is reasonable, but we're on 5. So I'm gonna keep. Oh wait, no. I'm gonna put back Sulfurous Springs, put back a Rager, and yeah, we'll try that. Take the swords and hope I can deal with that Akroma's Vengeance at a later time. I'm going to play this to try and take them off AK in the future. All right. I guess I should have played my... Okay, sure. I mean, yeah, if they want to leak it, that's probably fine. That's probably what I would want to take anyway. Eternal Dragon, Vengeance, Dustbolt. All right. There's Factory. Remember how I was talking in the last video about how Factory just trumps everything most opponents will do? So that looks like it is the case here. I mean, we can get in. I don't think they're going to trade because in one turn they can just eat anything I attack with. That's a 2/2. And we can get down Priest and Bombardment. So that's cool. We could get them to 11. And then continue to be stopped by one Mishra's Factory. Yeah, this deck really can't function without drawing Rotlung Reanimator, I'm noticing. And I don't really know what to do about it. Okay, I don't know what that was. Were they trying to Chroma's Vengeance, but decided against it? Or Decree of Justice, maybe? I don't know. There's really no they have no real need to do anything. So I can't get in. I can play the Priest. But I don't know that playing it really does anything for me, so I guess I'll hold it. Wait for a, like if they Wrath of God, then I can play it. Oh, okay, that's what they were trying to play last turn. Okay, I mean, this gives me a window to resolve Rotlung if I draw it. Actually, if I do Recurring Nightmare, that would be good too. I could start drawing off Rager. I guess I will... Is there any point in chipping in for damage here? Not really. I guess I'll go ahead and play this. Don't want them to have that Furnace. It's kind of my only route to victory, so I'm going to incentivize them to take Forbid and AK. Alright, there's the Rotlung. Pretty much too late at this point, but see what we can do. Forbid, counterspell. Alright. They got it all. Tsabo's Web, I think we want. Pyroblast. I'm going to start boarding out a land because I think I have too many lands in the deck. I guess something I should have figured out earlier. Duress. Maybe one Dystopia. We could take out Archon, I guess, and one land, maybe one bombardment. Maybe one supplicant. The supplicant angle isn't great against them because they can just swords this creature. This might be too reactive. Let's get Shepherd back in. That card's actually good against them. Yeah, we'll try that. This hand is actually reasonable. Playing against a lot of decks with Maindeck Phyrexian Furnace, which is obviously not very good for what we're trying to do here. Not playing AK. It's kind of weird. Yeah, I know I have Wretch in play, but it must mean their hand is really good or something. Perhaps they are anticipating wrathing away my board. Oh my god. Punished for not fetching, I guess. We'll do it now. I'm kind of resilient to Wrath of God because of the Rotlung. So do I want to name something else instead? No, not really. Okay. It's a deal. We got rid of their furnace. I don't think I wanted to therapy any of these other cards, so... Alright, that's an Exalted Angel. Don't think we can beat that. If we draw a Bombardment right now. No, of course, it's just another land. Why wouldn't it be? All right, we'll be back for the last round. All right, we're in round 6, trying for the 3-3 in the league. Stay tuned after. I'll have some thoughts about the deck and how to improve it going forward. All right, I guess I can keep this. Okay. Opposition. Gotta watch out for this Caller of the Claw that they have. Great draw. Great draw. I don't know why I didn't fetch. I should have done that. I'm going to get rid of this Land of Elves now before it gets active. Now, do I want to get rid of this Quirion Ranger as well? I don't think it's a horrible idea. I'm going to do it. Okay, so they got Collar of the Claw and Mystery Card. The Mystery Card is Quirion Ranger. So, yeah, I gotta be careful now because they have Collar up. Yeah, but that's fine. I can just hang back with this Rotlung Reanimator. Yep, of course. I drew another land. Just have so prone to flooding out in this deck. All right, let's cycle this. I should have fetched before cycling. Yep. Just not. I mean, it's a minor thing, but yeah. Okay, that's fine. We'll just take 3 from this for now. Sure. Okay, I think now we can block with the Shepherd. They'll pump and we will kill it in response, I think, and just deal with the 2/2s that result. So they're not going to be able to color this turn, which is interesting. Okay. They are going to be able to get anger and do some unpleasant things, no doubt. Let's see what they do here. I may kill this Korean Ranger in response. Or Basking Rootwalla, sure. Squee. Okay. I think it makes sense to kill this Rootwalla probably right now. Before they can really attack with it. I'm not going to kill the Ranger. We'll see if that ends up being a mistake. I sort of like the idea of preserving these Rotlung Reanimators. I'm not going to use the Ranger to play wall. Interesting. Oh, they are. Okay. Fine. All right, they play wall. So now they could play color on my turn unless I kill this wall right now, and then they couldn't play it. That would require me to sacrifice a Rotlung and a token. And then on my turn I could sack one more of the tokens and the other Rotlung to kill some Basking Rootwallas. Or whatever I draw. But I kind of have to do it now if I'm going to do it. I think it is worth doing that. Just like slows the game down more, which I think is good for me, or buys me some time. They used this already, right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Alternatively, I could sack the Rotlung and then they can't really, I could attack them with a bunch of 2/2s. They take and either block some or, yeah, maybe that's actually the play. Oh no, I only have 3 2/2s. Okay, yeah, that's a lot worse. That was probably not the best. All right. Yeah, they're going to play Hermit. I don't think I have any outs. I have to kill it, but then I can't really draw anything to get me back in the game. Just flood it out again. I don't even know if it's worth like putting this video out because clearly the deck is misbuilt. I've never seen anything quite like this. Okay, so definitely want all of these cards and the Flametongue Kavu. I don't think Pyroblast is really worth it in this kind of matchup. We can shave on maybe a Cabal Therapy, a Rager, maybe 1 Bombardment, even though it is good. And I guess the Shepherd is maybe not its best here. Okay, let's give that a try. Do I want Engineered Plague? It's not bad. Oh right, we're cutting a land. All right, well, let's just cut a land for an Engineered Plague then. Sure. Extremely awkward draw. Technically it has lands, but doesn't really do anything. I think I got a mulligan. Okay, this is good. I think we're just going to put back a land and hope to draw 1 more land. I feel like we need all of our action here. All right, looks like they're land light. This gambit might pay off here. Looks like it is. Got a land where Elves. I don't think I need the mana or the different colors from birds. And we'll play Dystopia. I'll play the swamp too. That should do it, I think. Gilded Drake. Enters exchange one target. Alright, so targets, so that's fine. I'll have to sacrifice my Scion. Oh, no, they're conceding. Alright. Yeah, because I think they were dead. They take 1, 2, 1 from the Scion, 1 from the Shepherd, down to 4, untap, attack, and deal the final 2. Yep. Alright, so we want to change anything here? I don't really think so. Maybe Bombardment is better than Plague on the draw because I'm slower. Maybe cut a Recurring Nightmare for the same reason. For Bombardment. Give that a try. This hand seems reasonable. Might be too slow on the draw, but I can't mulligan. I could play the Wretch. It's not really going to block anything. If I play the Bombardment, then I can at least have it in play when I play other creatures. So there's some logic there. So, I mean, I could use this Reanimator to kill one of these and it would stem the bleeding, sort of. But it would give up my chance of activating Supplicant. So I think I'm going to play out Supplicant and Wretch so that next turn I can activate its ability. Because I'm not under that much pressure right now. I mean, it's ramping up, but... it'll be a lot better if I have Rotlung in play when I do this. Yep, not going to block. It's taking a lot of their mana to deal me this extra damage. Yeah, and they don't even want to do it. Birds, okay, sure. Okay, so we play Rotlung. I hate when Moto does this. There we go. And now we can do this, get 3 zombies and sacrifice one of them to kill the birds. Maybe we sacrifice more of them. We'll see. Yes. Definitely want to get rid of this birds. Probably want to kill at least one of these. I could just kill both. You know what? Let's kill both. Oh, actually, guess that... Oh, they could have saved it, but they didn't. All right. They could do that for the next one, so let's not do that again. I wasn't thinking about that. Yeah, I don't really want to trade a zombie for one activation. This also should prevent them from having enough to block and trade with this, so that's good. All right, I've learned my lesson. I will thin my deck before drawing a card. That's why you always thin your deck, folks. All right. Let's attack with Scion. They can like block and play Caller and get some tokens, but it's not really that damaging, I don't think. guess I'll take the 1/1. All right, yeah, they were just stuck on mana that whole time. Okay, I will return with a deck analysis. So we ended up going 3-3 in the league. A couple of the matches, actually in many of the matches, I was flooding out, and in some of them it was pretty decisive and made the games not very close because I just drew way too many lands. It's interesting because I just played a deck that also had 23 lands, and I didn't feel like that one flooded out too much, but that deck also had a little bit of extra card draw. It had Curse Scroll to use extra mana or to just like do something when you're flooding, and it had Nantuko Shade again to use extra mana when you are flooding, but you maybe have one thing. This deck doesn't have any of that. There were a few times where I drew Goblin Bombardment or Recurring Nightmare and just didn't have the right setup for those cards to be very good. Either, like, basically you kind of need Rotlung Reanimator, or if you've gotten Scion of Darkness, then Recurring Nightmare can get it back, which isn't too bad. But besides that, Bombardment and Recurring Nightmare by themselves, or just with like a few regular creatures, no synergy, they're not particularly good. So we need to figure out a way to mitigate that if it can be done. So I think if I were to play the deck again, I would play something like this. So this is more just like the regular Clerics deck, but that deck usually runs around 21 lands. It runs 4 Dark Ritual. So, I mean, I suppose technically it's even more mana, but the other problem with this deck was you didn't have that many early plays. You kind of had Supplicant, Therapy, Duress, but there were not a rare number of games where I just didn't have anything to do on turn 1, or maybe like one thing between turn 1 and 2. And in pre-modern, you can't really afford to do that. So I think you do kind of have to play Dark Ritual, even though the way this deck was built, it wouldn't have been that good. But I think you just need to. So if I were to play it again, I would play a build that's basically just like the regular Clerics deck, but just for a slight splash, I guess, of this Nightmare Bombardment combo. So basically you're just playing the normal Clerics deck. I don't know, maybe I would put in one of the Ragers instead of one of these Archons because it's good with Recurring Nightmare. But essentially that regular Clerics deck, the usual builds of that deck, they this is their creature base, and then they play a few flex slots like Smother or Curse Scroll. Some play Nantuko Shade. I've seen Graveborn Muse. There's like 3 to 4 slots that they kind of flex. Unearth I've seen. So basically you would just be playing that deck, but in those flex slots, just play 2 Recurring Nightmare and 2 Goblin Bombardment. Because the other thing is that these cards aren't really good until later in the game. Bombardment can be good early if you're playing against a deck that has 1/1s, but even then, you kind of need Priest of Gix to sort of get ahead, or for them to stumble, which I guess killing their 1/1s would help. Like in the last match, we did win a game just by killing their mana guys, and they didn't have anything follow-up, but that's not really too reliable. So I think in general, you want to be building the deck so that it's essentially just a Clerics deck, and then instead of the usual flex slots, you have 2 Bombardment, 2 Recurring Nightmare. So it gives you a way to get some advantage off your creatures later, and also the possibility of an infinite combo with Rotlung 2 Priest of Gix, Recurring Nightmare, Goblin Bombardment. I think that's the way to go about it. I would probably add a Bad Moon to the sideboard just so you're not totally cold to Engineered Plague. Otherwise, I thought the sideboard was, reasonable. There's a lot of 3s, so I mean, when you're sideboarding, you kind of have to take out some of the 3s. I was trimming on Bombardment and Nightmare, but in this list, there's only 2 of each, so there's not that much to trim, so I'd probably be cutting some Cabal Archons. Yeah, so this is probably the way to build the deck. Is this deck actually going to be better than Mono Black Clerics? I'm not sure. Because, it can be useful to have access to Smother and actual removal instead of just Goblin Bombardment or Recurring Nightmare. I guess one advantage of Recurring Nightmare is that you can just use it to get back Scion if it's blocked down. So that's kind of nice. And, in addition to the infinite combo possibility. I could even see just playing a regular Clerics deck, mono black, and not splashing for red at all, but playing some Recurring Nightmare to give you the flexibility to get back Scion and have the double Priest Reanimator infinite zombie combo. I'm going to give you guys an update. I went ahead and played a league with the version 2 build with the Dark Rituals that I was talking about just now. And I went 3-3 in that league. Also flooded out a bunch. But it was kind of awkward with the Dark Rituals because how it would work is I'd ramp out a quick 3-drop with the Ritual, but then not have enough lands to play a 3-drop I drew later, which I guess makes some sense. So I think it's a tricky deck to build because most of your powerful cards are 3 mana, but you also don't want to flood out. So I think the cap on the deck may be like a tier 2 deck. But if I was going to make one more effort with it, I would probably recommend going somewhere in between. So something like this, 22 lands. Maybe you could afford to turn 1 into a Mishra's Factory to just have a little bit more action. Play 4 Duress, 4 Therapy to increase your turn 1 plays. And 3 Bombardment, 3 Recurring Nightmare. So some kind of middle ground. Maybe even, I could even see playing like 1 Dark Ritual just to increase the amount of early plays. In this build I have a Diabolic Intent just because I found it was so important to get Rotlung Reanimator because it really is like the best card by a lot. But there are other situations where it could be good to intent for a missing part of the combo, whether that's Reanimator, Priest of Gix, Recurring Nightmare, Goblin Bombardment. So I think it could be interesting to play 1 intent. But anyway, just figured I'd give an update since I did play through another league, but I'll be back with a different type of deck entirely for the next video. All right, thanks for watching, and I should say this at the beginning, but please like and subscribe if you are enjoying the videos. See you next time.